I done leveled up. I'm on a new level. Everything I touch turn to gold. Ain't I something special? This one for my haters. I'm a motivator. I make them niggas wanna do better. I want too much, I can never settle. Settle for less, nigga, I can never. If she did better, I probably would've kept her. But oh boy, I found something better, and she gon' do me better.
These big fights coming up, man.
Man, we got a lot of fights coming up, man.
One in particular, but I know you got some. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder #3, man. Who you got and how you got them winning?
Man, dig it, y'all. I can go a little bit deeper on this one with y'all because first off, Wilder had him knocked out that first fight. My man's woke back up. He was knocked out, he woke back up. Okay, now we're gonna give him his credit for getting back up and fighting. That he did. He woke back up. He was asleep. I feel the fight should have been stopped because he was asleep. But he got up so tremendously, can't nobody complain, neither can me. At that point, I was like, the fight need to be stopped.
He got up fighting though, bro.
He got up fighting. That's what I'm saying. Hold on. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
My man's woke back up and got up fighting. So at that moment when I saw him on the mat, I'm like, the fight over with, bro. We at 7, 8. Why is he up? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, then you can't complain. My man's got up. You know what I'm saying? But you also couldn't complain if the ref would have stopped the fight right there. That's my thing. That wouldn't have been no robbery or nothing. You know what I'm saying? He had already dropped him once before. You know what I'm saying? But Wilder was losing that first fight. You know what I'm saying? He had to knock him out. You know, but Fury got back up. You know what I'm saying? He ruled it a draw. I guess I can see a draw on that. I ain't got no complaints. That second fight, I don't know what was going on there. We talked about, I've heard a 40-pound weight vest. I've heard something was wrong with my water. I've heard my trainers. I've heard this and that. Look, man, I like Deontay Wilder, right? You know what I'm saying? He brought glorious knockouts back to the heavyweight division. How can you not like that? And he's a big, strong, tall dude from Alabama. Like, you gotta respect that. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I spent a couple years in Alabama before. You know what I'm saying? In Mobile, Alabama. You know, so like you know, when I hear him making these excuses, I'm like, no, Wilder, no, don't do that, man. Don't do that. You know, I didn't like that he made those excuses. I didn't like that he blamed the 40-pound costume because I trained with a 20-pound weight vest around 160, give or take a few pounds. Roy Jones Jr. used to work out with his weight vest before coming to the ring just to make sure that he was faster. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, I didn't like that excuse. I do feel there was something weird about Tyson Fury's gloves, but there's nothing that I can prove. I can't say there was nothing in his gloves like an egg weight or anything like that. But I do know those gloves were bent in a very weird way, and maybe he had his hand loose or whatever. I'm not understanding, but that glove was a bit floppy. When I was watching the fight, I was like, why is the glove floppy? I don't understand. Why is the damn glove floppy? You know, so y'all can act like y'all ain't see that. You saw what I saw. We gonna keep it real. Why was the glove floppy? In that second fight, that glove was floppy, and everybody know that glove was floppy, you know. And so, you know, that second fight, he dominated Wilder. He beat him up. You know what I'm saying? He put the pressure on him. He walked him down. He showed him that I'm the bigger man. You know what I'm saying? And in this instance, I'm going to put the pressure on you. I'm going to beat you down and put you in a position that you've never been in before. I'm going to break your will. And that is what he did. He succeeded in that. No matter what Wilder's excuses were, that fight would have went the same way. Because Wilder wasn't expecting what was coming. Now, both these fights, I had Wilder to win by knockout. Wilder Fury 1, I had Wilder by knockout. Wilder Fury 2, I had Wilder by knockout. Now we get to Wilder Fury 3. And I'm looking at him train. I'm looking at his footwork. I'm looking at his body work. I'm looking at his constant jab. I'm looking at his feints. I'm looking at them different looks he doing with that right hand. And I'm looking at the fact he not saying as much. It's not the same Wilder. We not getting the same rocket launcher that we got before. Y'all about to see a shot to your system. Otherwise, he putting in all this work to be a fraud. I see what he doing. Wilder putting in that work. And I'm going to tell y'all something, man. I looked at that. I watched that stare down. You know what I'm saying? Everybody talking about, oh, Wilder had the headphones on. And he didn't say nothing, man. Let me tell you something, man. He was looking at through that man's soul. No, he didn't want to hear the bullshit no longer. He didn't want to hear nothing else. The talking is over. I understood where he was coming from. When he stood up and he looked that man in the eye, the way he did, he was staring a hole through his soul. This wasn't a who can stand here the longest competition like a lot of people trying to make it. A lot of people try to make that as in, all right, whoever stood there the longest won this here face-off. Like, that's not what that was. Wilder stared a hole through that man. And me personally, I felt like Fury was shook, but that's my personal opinion. I feel like Fury was shook, and I felt his team saw that he was shook, and that's why they came up there. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I see. I feel like Wilder put his glass on and turned back around because he proved his point. I'm serious. I'm not here to talk no more. I did enough talking. You did enough talking. I got these headphones on. I ain't even listening to nothing. I came for war. I think he came for war. I got Wilder by knockout. Just like I had the first fight that I was wrong. Just like I had the second fight and I was wrong. Third fight, I got Wilder by knockout.
Alright, let me ask you this. If Wilder loses fight, do you think he should retire, or do you think he can still make a comeback after losing this fight? If he loses fight,
I think if Wilder still has the will to box after this fight, if he loses, I think he should definitely still keep fighting. I don't think he should stop fighting at all. I think he's a great fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, do I feel like he fought a lot of bums? I feel like he fought a lot of bums, man. But I feel like he knocked a whole lot of people out. He knocked a whole lot of people out, man. He mastered the art of knocking you out with one hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many of y'all mastered that art? I can just walk up to you and just knock you out with just this one. Like, he mastered some shit with the way his body built and all that. Like, you know. And what I'm saying is I think he putting these other skills together. And I don't think he putting all these skills together just to leave, just to walk away from boxing. You know what I'm saying? I think Wilder got a whole lot left in the tank, regardless if he win or lose. Because I want to see Wilder fight my personal favorite heavyweight, with his Anthony Joshua, the real king of the heavyweights that everybody sleeps on. That's the landlord of the heavyweight division. That's the two-time unified champion of the heavyweight division. That's the man that I feel Wilder ducked. That's the man that Fury just ducked. And that's just the way it is. I don't care that he's from Great Britain. That's who the landlord is. Check that man's resume. That man went out there literally globe-trotting, taking belts and fighting mandatories, taking all challengers, and been chasing after that WC belt. But every time somebody get a WC belt, they duck Anthony Joshua. He ain't gonna have all the belts and then don't want the last one. Like, come on, that's the two-time unified champion. He made one mistake, got one loss, came back and won in dominant fashion. He could have won by knockout if he wanted to, but he wanted to showcase his boxing skills to show that he could evolve as a fighter. And that's what boxing is about, whether you win or lose. You see what I'm saying? And that's why that's my personal favorite heavyweight champion. And that's why he's the two-time unified heavyweight champion.